Now we changed what we were going to do. We were going to leave it. Normally what we do is we class practice and then leave. I just, the weather is so unpredictable and what's going on. We just said, let's just get out of here in the morning and get up there. We'll practice in the Barclays Center, either in the practice court or on the court. We didn't have Ryan. I think he had some sort of flu or something yesterday. Did not practice. Julius took the day. We're just trying to make sure his leg. There was nothing structurally or anything wrong, but so he didn't practice. So yesterday, Jared looked pretty good. I think Jared would be fine if we had to play him. The other guys went pretty hard, but we are what we are right now.
How much better do you think you might be by Friday, just as progress?
Again, they're a team that tries to post the ball. They run a lot of screens. They play great position defense. They don't give you a whole lot. They don't turn it over a whole lot. They try to take good shots every time down. They're not going to beat themselves. And we'll see if we're ready to beat a basketball team. I'm just not sure. They're going to have to show me. Haven't done much situational work. Up 8, down 8, up 3, down 3. We just haven't had time to. You could try to have these guys and mush their mind by just trying to go 3.5 hours a day and try to get everything in before you play, Maryland. But we just did. We're not. Our press, they're going to press us some. It's going to look ugly. Just haven't had the time to work on it.
You mentioned Jared might play. How much better has he gotten to this point right
We're
now?
all comfortable as a staff. If he's got to go in and play minutes and play significant minutes, we're fine. He's not going to be like the guy trying to get 30 points, but he's got some size with him. He's got some toughness with him. He'll make open shots. I think he's dying for an opportunity, which is what you want from a player. So, and watching the tape, John Hood did really well last game. John Hood's trying to just play within himself. There were a couple plays I wish he'd have shot the ball, but it's okay that he didn't. I'm not going to get mad at him for not shooting the ball right now. I just want him getting comfortable playing and not being delusional. This is who I am. Here's how I play. I'm going to go do this. And he's listening to himself, and now all of a sudden you're comfortable putting him in the game. He can help us.
How can he help you guys?
Well, he played hard. He played steady. He'll go rebound balls. He can make a 7-foot shot. He can make an open 3 if you give it to him. I mean, you can't just say we're not going to play him. He can make that. So we do a shooting drill. The kid's making 50-some threes every time we do the drill. Now, we practice, and I'm on him because his percentage is low from the 3. And I say, how could you make 50? And then when we start playing, do what you're doing. It's all in your mind. It's not anything else. You're capable of it. You just don't think you deserve to do it, or you don't think you're going to do it. We all think you're going to do it. That's what we think. Now, you got to think that way. So, just trying to get him to believe a little bit more in himself. But he's done fine.
Coach, can you talk about your friendship with Mark Turgeon and how this game kind of came about?
Well, I don't usually like to play friends. And Mark, I coached him when he was at Kansas. So Mark, I remember coming up to a table, we were having breakfast, and Larry Brown had gotten the job, and he just walked up and he said, I'm better than any point guard you have on your team. We didn't know who he was. Like, what's your name? And he was, a confident, who is this 145-pound kid telling us? So we play our first game against Houston, 5-slam majama, and we get killed. And there was one guy, Coach Dean Smith, called Larry Brown and said, you need to play that Turgeon kid, because he was the one that did all the things the way you had to do them, got us into offense, made all the right plays. And it was funny, after the game, Coach Smith played Turgeon. So, used to play one-on-one before practice with he and some of the guys. And he's a terrific coach, terrific person. His father, who I've stayed in touch with over the years, sent me 2 days ago all the note cards from UMass that I had sent him back to me to say, boy, you've come a long way from this. I said, what do you mean, my handwriting or what? But he's one of the guys that, you don't want to play him. Tony Barbies, the Derek Kellogg's, the Josh Pastners. And if you lose to those guys, you're sick, but you're really happy for them. You end up saying, you know what, if I'm going to lose, let me lose to this guy who would really benefit. I think, again, as much as I hated to lose to Indiana, it really helped their program. No question what it did. And Tom and I are friends. So.
What do you think of Dez Wells being eligible?
I'm happy for him. I'm happy. Anytime, I hate it when I see kids being held out and, give the benefit of the doubt to the kid. That's if you care about kids. If we're all in this for them, give the benefit of the doubt to the kid. And obviously that's what they must have done. And it probably went up the ladder beyond this, and it probably was president to president. Probably went up, and it doesn't matter. It's good for that kid. It's really good for Maryland. He will make Maryland now legitimately one of those teams because they were good enough. They needed that one guy, and he is that one guy. He's that good.
How did those conversations go? I know he, at least, I think was on campus at one point as he was trying to decide what he wanted to do.
No, it was fine. I love the kid. I mean, like I said, I think he was one of the great. When I met him, I was like, wow, is this kid outstanding? So, and again, I'm not worried about us in Maryland. You worry about that kid, and that kid's being able to play, and that's good for him. And if we're going to make a mistake, make it in leaning toward the kid, not away. And don't worry about the program he's going to. Zero back on what is right for this kid, and if the benefit of the doubt leans toward the kid, let him play.
What are some of the things Maryland does that's challenging?
Well, they're trying to come down each time and get good shots. They're trying to really, really post the ball. They do a great job of running screens, and every ball screen ends up in a down screen. Every ball screen means there's a small cross screening for a big. They're trying to get that ball into the post, into the post, into the post. So Kyle has his hands full. Our big guys have their hands full. Like if you think you're just going to play, you're going to get screened first. Or your man's going to screen, and then they're posting your man. So they put you in tough situations, and they execute it. So they're going to come down I would imagine the first 5 or 6 times down the floor, the ball's getting posted. It's bang, 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 post the ball. And so we're going to find out where we truly are with post defense. This is why I say you play these kind of games early. I'd rather have had a game or two under our belt before we played it, but the reality of it is this team is so young, let's learn right away. Here's where we are. Here's where we're not. Don't get crazy. This is where we're going to be all right. You can see it. Here's where we're really awful. Let's shore that up. And I think that's about where we are right now. We truly have no idea. I don't really know. Will Ryan play? Will Julius play? I don't know yet. I would say I hope so, but we don't know.
Who's the point guard, John? If worst case scenario, Ryan and
You have Archie and Jared. You have enough. I mean, it's not like we don't have enough at point. Just you're limited players, that you're starting to get down to numbers. And I don't think in a game like that with the excitement and the anxiety, you can't play 40 minutes. So it's just the numbers game.
John, this is 3 out of 4 years you've played in New York in the regular season. Is that something you're going to try to do most years?
Well, they've asked us to. I mean, the Garden's mad that we're playing in the Barclay. I mean, they're mad, and I think they would like us in there every day. I think they told me yesterday they sold out the building. They sold the tickets. They're gone. So, obviously, for us to go to New York and sell out the building, you understand they want us up there. Now, it's not as though we're just recruiting New York or New York City that we have to go up there. I mean, but it's a good trip. just hope it's not snowing like it is this time. I mean, this is going to be crazy.
Do you do anything, extracurricular with the guys being?
I don't think we're going to have enough time, and I'm not going to drag them around the city because I just don't know what the transportation's like. I may take a trek tomorrow morning to go either to Queens or maybe to Staten Island if I think I could get there and back and not waste a whole day, because obviously we play that night. We have a shoot around that day. But I'm just, what we did last night, raising $500,000, and at the end of the day, the check may be presented, maybe nearly $1 million, maybe $1 million, because of Papa John's and because of the auction stuff. So, again, doing that, I'd like to say, tell me what you're doing here, American Red Cross. We're giving you $1 million. What are you doing? Where, so I may do some of that. I may not have time. I may come back and do it later. But let me thank all. You think about it. Our state is one of the poorer states. Louisville didn't even run the telethon. Wasn't even run in Louisville. We raised $500,000. And then all of a sudden we're giving a check for $1 million from this state, from basically this city, from Hazard, from Louisville did not run it. So the word got out through the social media and all the other stuff, and people basically gave over $200,000. And then we match it, and then you do the auction, then you do all of a sudden you start looking around and say, my goodness, you raised $1 million. And did it, wasn't an all-day auction. Do you know how long when we did Haiti, how long did that auction go? 4 hours. This was 1 hour, and then we went to CW for an hour in the computer. So I just can't thank the people in this state, how they give money, how they give of their time. I say, a suffering man steps out and does something for somebody else, that means something. That means something to me. There were older ladies. I picked up a few phones that were given $25, and they could barely afford the $25 that they were giving. You know it. You could hear it. Yet they gave it anyway. And the images that you see, and now the snow, I told everybody, we're not rebuilding Queens or Staten Island. You're keeping people alive. You're feeding them, you're housing them, you're giving them shelter, you're giving them clothes, you're giving them medicine, you're giving them water. That's what you're doing, and that's all that we were trying to do. So it's pretty good, though. Our players had fun with it. They weren't sure going in, what the heck is this? But I think by the time they left, they enjoyed it.
Last question.
What do you think of the election, the result?
Who won? Govern for everybody. I kept a little eye on it. I got so much stuff going on right now that I think I went to bed having an idea. I turned on the TV and saw, and I just tell you, we got issues in the country, and people got to come together, kind of like we did last night on this telethon. You got to come together. Reach your hand across the aisle and say, we need each other. Let's go. We can't do this alone. And that's what's happening in New York right now. There's no way they can do this alone. They need everybody's hand. And it's not asking for a handout. The people hit by this more than any other were the working class, the middle class, because I know on the Jersey Shore, because I vacation down there, those are fishing villages that turned into summer houses. So they were working class people that passed those houses down to their families. My fear is half of them weren't insured because they had no mortgages. You have no mortgage on your house, you don't have to insure it. So hopefully that people did have insurance and they're going to be able to come back, and that the government and the state government and FEMA does their thing, and we get all those people back on their feet. But thank you.